Hello and welcome to the podcast, Mr. James Cocker.
Hassan.
Thanks for agreeing to do this as well, very last minute, because you and I were having a bit of a debate online, and I thought actually there's a much better platform to do this from, because I think that when you're debating online, you know, comments and posts, you don't kind of get the nuances across, do you? So this gives us both a better platform to be able to air our probably differing views, but without resorting to fisticuffs. What do you say?
Yeah, of course. I think there's a lot more valuable stuff for a lot of people listening in the industry too, rather than it just being contributing to the reach on one post, for example, that may not have that much value for everybody. So
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Oh, wait. Tell us who you are, James.
I'm James. I've been working with a stage just now for almost 6 years. I'm not on a stage myself. Came out of left field a little bit. I do have very different views on marketing on social media and how a state agent should use that, but that is my forte, helping agents to build their brand on social media and get a lot of clients that they can work with in their business. Sellers mainly, but of course buyers, landlords, and any potential referrals off the back of that too.
And how did you get into it, James?
So I was marketing initially on social media as a side hustle in college quite a few years ago. I also had a part-time sales job, and I noticed the opportunity for local businesses to use social media more effectively. It just so happens that a lot of local businesses don't have a massive budget, and they're also not that great understanding of marketing and not that much of an urgency to do it. But being a sales and marketing based person, I decided I probably have more of an affinity to working with estate agents, and they'd probably have more of an affinity to working with me too. And over the years, I have been just about proven right on that. So here we are.
And what made you choose a state agency as opposed to, I don't know, hospitality or another industry?
Again, it was that affinity to sales and marketing. I was much more of a sales and marketing based person. That was my experience. And a lot of local businesses were simply not sales and marketing based businesses and didn't have that urgency for more marketing, more leads, etc.
Tell us about some of your early successes.
So early successes, I would say cold calling random people that I had no idea who I was and managing to get meetings was probably one of those, to be fair. But then I think initially with social media, it was to do with helping people out on Instagram and grow their brand effectively through content. And then that was initially, this is 2017, when Instagram was a very simple platform and much more simple than it is today. It's basically just a case of looking at what content out there does well in this niche and then curating that content or creating content in line with those kind of boundaries, if you like, in terms of what works very well. And I think that's still something that served me quite well today with estate agents, and just taking a very, very good look at as many agents as I can do online, what they're doing well, what they have in common, and then applying that to, well, I guess, my services and my clients too.
When you first start working with an agent, do you sort of sit down and go through their brand voice and those kind of things, or is it like one style fits all agents?
It is, but everybody has their own way of creating content, right? Everybody has their own way of doing so. A lot of the time when agents come to work with me, they've done a bit of video, but they're not that confident on camera. And it's a case of they've done some social media stuff, but they want to be able to build their brand on social media. And the reason why I go for this initial one-size-fits-all solution with the property content is because although, yes, it's not the most educational content, it's not the most valuable content, but it is the most engaging content if you look on social media. Back to looking at a lot of agents that do well on social media, typically what you're going to find is when they're consistently listing and selling properties from their social platforms and consistently getting leads into their database, their content split is about 70-30 or 80-20 in favor of property videos. So typically that is what gets people switched on. And that's also the reason why people engage with Rightmove a lot. 93% of people on Rightmove are not in the market to do anything. It's just a lot of entertainment value for them. So we want to take advantage of that, get some property videos filmed in the way that the platforms like to film it. Make sure you've got the full property and you're walking up to the property, for example. It could just be on your mobile phone, introducing the property that you have coming soon and getting it on your social media first and just telling people about it. You want to get that published, and then we always share it into as many local groups as we possibly can do, so we can then get a lot more free reach on that property on social media. We typically see quite a lot of comments, people tagging their friends, and a few inquiries off the back of that. Now, the reason I like to do all that stuff is because it takes advantage of Facebook's free options as much as possible. Once you film the right content, got into the groups, you start to have those local touch points by local people in those groups. What you also get by sharing it from the page is a touch point with your Facebook business page. So all those views in the group count as a view on the Facebook business page on the property, or the reach or the engagement, it all counts towards your business page. And then what we can do is we can start to run paid ads and paid strategies, which do vary based on what the agent wants in terms of retarget.
So, we don't do it like this, and I know you know that. We are very happy to spend what we spend with Rightmove. We believe it's a really good investment of our money and our time. It's very easy to use, and it's where all the buyers are. So I don't see the point in us spending an extra £1,000 a month on top of that to promote our agency when Rightmove is doing a really good job of that anyway, particularly if the focus for that is buyers and not sellers. And I know what you're saying. Well, I think what you're saying is that you get the buyers, the sellers will come. Is that what you're saying? So in other words, to build your brand with buyers to attract the sellers.
It's not necessarily build your brand with buyers or anybody else as such. It's much more a case of what do people want to see in terms of content on social media. And most of what people want to see on social media is about entertainment value. So when I say beat Rightmove, yes, you can theoretically in many cases beat Rightmove, and actually a third of the time with marketing properties, the buyer does come from social media, because it's a very, very similar audience of people looking on Rightmove and looking on social media too. It's just a case of for a long time with estate agents, you've been used to paying to outsource the attention you run your business off of. Newspapers, portals, obviously social media isn't a new thing, but that's the biggest middle ground, if you like, to go direct to consumer. And because people use Rightmove, again, 93% of them are just taking a look. There's 7% of people that are actually in the market to buy, sell, let, rent, invest, whatever it is, or buy land. It's the best platform to go ahead and get your buyers from, but it's also a platform where people look for entertainment, just like Zoopla as well. So, and it's the same thing on social media. So what you want to do with essentially with social media is the foundations of it is mirror that and mirror the consumer behavior in that way. Because you're not just, if people are looking at you to see properties on your social media because you're going to put them there first, I think you should always do that with your estate agency because it emphasizes people to come and look at you. Of course, you're not going to sell every property to everybody. That's not quite how that works. But it's not just buyers that are going to look at you, it's local people in general that are piquing their interest. I know for yourselves, it's not a case of your buyers and sellers are local. We can go into that in a second, because I do work with an agency that has done something quite similar because they're in a very, very niche market. But it just goes to show that everybody you want to reach is on social media, and everybody that knows the people you want to reach is also on social media too. But what people do like to do is nose their properties. They like to see inside of other properties in the area, and they do like to see what local businesses are up to. So if you can give them that exclusive sneak peek into properties in the area, especially nice properties in the area, you do very quickly, you say specifically, this is where you're going to get an exclusive look at them on our social media. Everybody in the market quickly flocks to your social media pages. And then it's up to you with your strategies you want to run after that, and also other pieces of content you produce to your audience, how you get the sellers out of it, how you get the buyers out of it. There's everything that come out of it for your estate agency. And of course, yes, you can, in many cases, you can beat Rightmove. I mean, Zoopla on the market, typically I see more results in terms of, valuation leads, buyer inquiries leading to viewings and instructions and views, etc., than on the market and Zoopla combined in 30 days. You could literally do that spending like £300, £10 a day on Facebook in the right way. It's very easy to get more attention on social media on your estate agency than the secondary and third property portals are going to get you.
I haven't seen any successful, I'm sure you're going to tell me that you have, Facebook paid campaigns for valuations. I don't think I've ever seen a successful one in 15 years of working with agents with their socials.
Okay, what kind of valuation campaigns are we looking at here? Because everybody runs typically the Facebook valuation campaigns in the exact same way with the instant valuation tool to the cold audience.
No, I think retargeting is, and warm audience is much smarter. But what are you actually advertising?
Typically, the success of the agent in the market. And then, of course, right now, it's a case of if you're thinking of selling in these areas that we work in, and you're looking to sell in 2018 to 2025, and you want to know how you're going to be able to move home, get the best price, and what the market's doing to you, fill out our inquiry form, and one of our agents will be in touch. It's very, very simple, but that's going to audience of people that have already seen this agent and the way they market homes and the kind of content that they produce.
And if you had exactly the same campaign to households through direct mail, which do you think would be more successful?
I think it'd be more successful on Facebook because that's more of a blanket campaign.
So we sent out 60 letters week before last, sorry. How many valuations do you think that gave us from 60 letters, sorry?
You see maybe a 10%, 5-10% conversion rate there? What did you see?
So it should be. So the industry average says 1 in 200, which we're very, very happy with. We actually got 10 valuations from 60 letters and 2 instructions on that. I don't think you could beat that through socials. In fact, I know you can't.